My client acquisition strategy, how I signed 6 new clients in 30 days. In 2024, April, I signed 14 clients in 1 month. July, I got 8 new clients. March and September, last month, I got 6 new clients. And then I got 4 new clients in 2023, January, June, November, and December, and August of 2024. My clients pay me on average $450 per month, which means I added an extra $1,800 or more in those months. I've been running my bookkeeping business for the past 4 years. My name is Zach Pasquarello. I own Harrisburg Bookkeeping. I probably look terrible right now because I'm stressed out, overworked, and exhausted. I have 80 clients right now. I do their bookkeeping, but it's okay because I love my job and I love making these videos. Honestly, I just love teaching people about bookkeeping, how to start and grow your own bookkeeping business, and I love talking about my own bookkeeping business. Everything I talk about is not something I learned in college or in a course. Everything I talk about is what I've learned from starting and growing my own bookkeeping business over the past 4 years. Let's jump right into it. My client acquisition strategy, how I sign so many new clients every single month. First, I have to say, it's a long-term strategy. If you're brand new, if you're just getting started, that's great. I want you to realize you're not going to get to 80 clients in the first year. You're not even going to get there in the second year. Might not get there in the third year. Spoiler alert, you might actually never get to 80 clients. But that's okay. You can probably get to 20 or 40 clients. You can absolutely make really good money starting and growing your own bookkeeping business. Not everybody will get to 80 clients or 100 clients. That's okay. 30, 40 clients, still a really great business. None of this is fast, but if you implement these strategies now, I promise you will set yourself up for success long term. It's all about long-term success, a long-term strategy. None of this is a get-rich-quick scheme. You're not going to make $10,000 this month, but you might make $10,000 every month next year or in 2 years. Okay, I got a couple questions to ask you. First, who is your client? Who are you trying to get to sign up with you for bookkeeping? I recommend look to your local market first. It just makes sense. There are plenty of fish in the sea. There are plenty of, even if you live in a small town, I promise you, there are plenty of business owners right in your hometown, right where you are right now. Start local. It just makes more sense. People are more likely to trust you if they live in your town versus somebody across the country or somebody in a different country. So start local. Plenty of fish in the sea. Pretty much any small business owner. I recommend look for solo entrepreneurs, but it could even be a larger business, somebody with 10 employees. Basically, anybody who doesn't already have a full-time accountant or a full-time bookkeeper, somebody who doesn't have an in-house bookkeeper. And keep in mind, office managers, although they might be doing the bookkeeping, they aren't really qualified or experienced enough to do the bookkeeping. A lot of business owners think they have a bookkeeper because they have an office manager or an office administrator who's currently doing their bookkeeping. I can't tell you how many times I've onboarded a new client who used to have their office manager doing their bookkeeping, and it's always messed up. It's always a nightmare. So just because you talk to a business owner and they say, oh, like my office person is already taking care of that, they still might turn into a potential client. You can still convince them that they should hire you because their office manager probably isn't qualified. As long as they're using QuickBooks Online or open to using QuickBooks Online, they are your ideal client. I only work with QuickBooks Online. I don't work with Desktop or Sage or Xero. That's just my personal preference. That's how I've grown my business. You can do whatever you want, but that's just worked really well for me. Also, I only do bookkeeping. Some people are shocked when I say this. I only do bookkeeping. I don't do payroll or taxes or CFO services, and I still am able to make a ton of money and onboard a ton of clients. If you're worried about not making enough money, let me comfort you, let me reassure you, You will make plenty of money even if you only offer bookkeeping. Here's the cool thing. You can become an expert in QuickBooks Online and bookkeeping by focusing on these services, by only offering these services. And if you're an expert, that means you can work really efficiently, make fewer mistakes, spend less time learning new systems and new software and how to do new things. Spend less time doing that, spend more time getting clients, becoming an expert on specific things, which means you can work really efficiently, really quickly, which means you can handle more clients. That's how I have so many clients, because I'm very specialized. Only do bookkeeping, only work with QuickBooks Online. I'm specialized, I'm able to handle a lot of clients, which ultimately means you can make more money. So that's who your ideal client is. Now, next question. How do you find your clients? You can go to networking groups, you can run paid ads, you can hire a social media manager, you can get a list of email addresses from business owners and you can run an email marketing campaign. You can do SEO. It doesn't really matter how you find your clients. What does matter is that you come up with a system or a process for marketing, and you got to be consistent every day. And like I said in the beginning, you have to commit to a long-term strategy. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This might not work in 30 days, might not even work in 60 days. I'm sure I'm going to have some people mention in the comments, I can't find clients. I've been doing this for 30 days and I don't have a client yet. Can you please help me? The key is consistency every day, commitment long-term. So here's the thing about networking groups. A lot of you probably currently have a full-time job, or you have a family that you're managing, or other things going on in your life. Networking groups are great, but they take a lot of time. You gotta get ready. You gotta leave the house. You gotta drive there. You gotta sit through somebody's boring presentation, and then you finally get to network for 30 minutes, and then you gotta drive home, get back to work. It might turn into a client in 6 months or a year. It might turn into a couple referrals. It probably will work, but it's going to take a really long time. And it's going to take a lot of your time right now. So if you're currently working and if you're strapped for time, like me, when I got started, I had a full-time job. When I started my bookkeeping business 4 years ago, I was simultaneously going to college, working a full-time job. We just had a new baby. So I had a lot going on. I did not have a bunch of time to go to a breakfast meetup or to go to a networking group on the weekend. They're great. They certainly have their time and place, but if you're just getting started, I would not do them. That's just my personal opinion. Paid ads, another great way to get clients. But if you're anything like me, when I got started, I didn't have a lot of money to dump into my bookkeeping business. So I never ran paid ads. I never did it. And you don't have to either. Same thing, hire a social media manager. You don't have to do that. You can do everything yourself. SEO is really great, but it's pretty complicated. I don't know anything about it, but I do know my wife also has a business and she doesn't do any social media marketing. She just optimizes her website for SEO and she still gets new clients to this day. And she hasn't done social media marketing in over a year and she's still getting calls and she's still getting people to fill out her contact forms on her website because she's really good at SEO. So if you can do that, definitely recommend. It's a great strategy. Now, I told you everything that I don't do, everything that doesn't work. So how do you find your clients? I'll just tell you what works for me. DIY, do it yourself, social media marketing. I'm sure you've heard it a million times. Let me break it down for you. Let me keep it super, super simple. I've got a 4-step process. First, let me give you a quick story. Imagine you want to improve your fitness or lose weight. So you decide to start walking. Simple exercise, and you decide to walk 1 mile. Pretty easy. Probably anybody, as long as you have the physical capability to walk, probably the majority of you could go out and walk 1 mile today. Super simple. But if you only walk 1 mile today and then stop, you're not going to improve your fitness. You're not going to lose weight. You're not going to get faster because you just did it once. It's really simple, but it's really, really hard to do it every day. But that's what it takes to improve your fitness and to achieve your goals. You have to walk 1 mile every day for 30 days, 6 months, 2 years before you start to really see improvement. Same concept applies to marketing. If you get a Facebook and if you make a couple posts and then you stop, it's not going to work. You got to be consistent every single day. So let me give you a quick 4-step process how I started my own bookkeeping business, how I started to find clients. Step number 1, create content. Step number 2, find prospective clients. Step 3, connect with those prospective clients. Step 4, engage with your community. So step 1, create content. Do it every single day. It could be a text, it could be a picture with a caption, infographic, flyer, short video, doesn't matter. Just create content every day. Step 2, find prospective clients. I recommend go to Facebook groups, search on LinkedIn, look at Instagram, find prospective clients somewhere. I love Facebook, so I go to local Facebook groups and I find business owners in those Facebook groups and then connect with them. Step number 3, send 50 friend requests on Facebook every day. Follow 50 new accounts on Instagram every day. Or if you're using LinkedIn, send 50 connection requests every day on LinkedIn. Step 4, probably the most important, but the most often overlooked, engage with your community. Because you are acquiring a lot of new friends, strangers who don't know who you are. It's so simple. Just keep it polite, positive, and professional. Comment on their posts. They are probably other business owners, which means they're probably creating content just like you are to promote their business. If you just friend requested a landscaping business owner, they probably are going to post some pictures of their projects. Drop them a quick comment. It lets them know it lets them know who you are. They see your name. They see that you're being nice and polite, positive, professional in your comments. And if you do it enough times, they might be like, who is this guy? Who is Zach? Why is he always commenting on my posts? I don't even know who this guy is, but he's always being nice and uplifting. Let me take a look at his profile. And then they're going to click on your profile. They're going to see all your content. They're going to see your bio. They're going to go to your website and they'll be like, oh, that's that bookkeeper guy. And then in 6 months down the road, they might hire you or they might refer you to one of their friends. It's a long-term play. But if you do this enough, if you do this with everybody, it's going to pay off. I recommend engage with 10 posts every day. The cool thing about social media, it's free. You don't need to pay for ads. And like I said in the beginning, I was on a budget. I did not have a ton of money, so it's free. You don't need to hire anybody. You don't need to pay for ads. You can do it all yourself. And then you can do it anytime. Middle of the night, on your lunch break, before work, after you put the kids to bed, on the weekend. You can do it anytime. And then you can do it anywhere. It's not like an in-person networking event. Like you can do it anywhere. The comfort of your own home while you're in your pajamas, laying on your couch, anywhere, on vacation, doesn't matter. So what do you say to potential clients? So just to recap, we identified who is your ideal client, how do you find them, and then what do you say to them? So I told you my 4-step marketing strategy, and there's a 5th step that I didn't mention yet, and that's the direct message that you send to these people on social media. I usually recommend wait 30 days. You don't want to friend request someone and then 48 hours later send them a message. That doesn't look good. So wait 30 days. Plus, it doesn't give your marketing content any time to work. So wait 30 days and then send them a message. No gimmicks. I don't like the annoying sales pitch. I don't like the gimmicks, the tricks, the sales tactics. You know what I'm talking about. No gimmicks. We're not selling solar panels or life insurance. Not that there's anything wrong with those things, but we don't need to convince people that they need bookkeeping. That's a really important distinction. When it comes to sales, like not like solar panels, like I need to convince you that solar panels are a good option for you. I need to convince you that you need life insurance, but I don't need to convince business owners they need bookkeeping. The IRS does that for us. They need to file their taxes. In order to file their taxes, they need financial statements. In order to get financial statements, you need bookkeeping. So I don't need to convince you that you need bookkeeping. I only need to convince you that you should hire me to do your bookkeeping instead of that other bookkeeper or instead of your office manager or instead of you doing it yourself. So there are no gimmicks. My sales tactics mirror my customer service. My customer service is prompt, it's clear, it's on time, it's trustworthy. Same concept for my sales tactics. I keep it really simple. I message people. I say, hey, I'm a bookkeeper. Let me know if you ever need help with your QuickBooks. That's literally all I say. And I'm not a sales guru or a marketing expert. I'm just telling you what's worked really well for me. That sales message has worked. Honestly, it's worked well in the past because these people already know they need help with QuickBooks. And the sales message only works if you implement the first 4 steps because these people need to know who you are. The whole point of the marketing is so that these people learn who you are and then start to trust you. And then they build a relationship with you. It's kind of weird to think, but you can actually build real, genuine, lasting relationships on the internet, on social media. It's crazy to think, but it's happening every day. It's happening right now. So you're creating content so these people get to know you, so that they start to trust you. They start to realize, oh, wow, this guy is a bookkeeping expert. He is a QuickBooks expert. He does give great advice on the internet. So I trust him. I kind of like this guy. Maybe I will hire him. That's really all there is to it. Why do they need you? Why do these potential clients need you instead of doing it themselves or instead of their office manager doing it? Emphasize your expertise. That's what separates you from the office manager, from the administrative assistant, from the executive assistant. You are a bookkeeping expert. You know how to do all the journal entries and you know everything about QuickBooks. You know how to connect the accounts to the bank feed. You know how to troubleshoot. You know how to reconcile accounts and fix discrepancies and errors. Emphasize your expertise. That's why we charge a premium for our services, because we're experts. We're bookkeeping experts, we're QuickBooks experts, and we're business owners. We're entrepreneurs. We're independent contractors. We are more reliable. If they hire a full-time, even part-time employee, employees come and go. In today's market, employees don't last more than 2 years. You're lucky if they last 2 years. So if a business owner hires an office manager right now, they're probably going to quit in the next 12 to 24 months. But if you hire me as a bookkeeper, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be in business just as long as you, if not longer. So we are more reliable. We're better trained. We have more expertise, and they don't need to manage us. They don't need to find extra work for us. If they hire even a part-time employee, 20 hours a week, the bookkeeping might take 5 hours, and then they got to find an extra 15 hours every week for this part-time employee. They just hire us. We get the job done. It's so much easier. It's easier and it's less stressful. If they're doing their own bookkeeping, that's a whole different problem. You can sell them by saying, hey, you're probably stressed out. You're overworked. You're wasting time. You're doing this on the weekend. You're staying up late. Let me help you. If you can sell them on reducing their stress, then your bookkeeping services are priceless. We do so much more than just recording transactions and tax prep. I can actually reduce your stress. That's a big selling point. And it's true. It's not a gimmick. Like as a bookkeeper, if I can manage your finances, then that gives you so much peace of mind as a business owner, knowing that your accounts receivable, accounts payable, profit and loss, balance sheet, everything's taken care of. 1099s, I can seriously reduce the stress of business owners. Okay, last question. How do you onboard them? This is important. We've covered everything up until the point of actually landing the client. How do you onboard them? It all starts with the sales call. So I told you about marketing, I told you about sales. Now we actually landed a sales call. I'm not going to go into the sales call. I've got a bunch of other videos on that. But after the sales call, after you've landed the sales call, actually let me know in the comments. Do you want me to make a whole video just talking about the sales call? Because I probably could. There's a lot that goes into it. At the end of the sales call, you need to make sure you get one of two things. Always make sure you have clearly defined next steps for your client for every phase. So after the sales call, you need to get either invited to the QuickBooks or get their bank statements because you need to give them a quote. I usually like to do this before we hang up the phone. If I have them on the phone, I'll say, hey, are you sitting in front of your computer right now? Why don't you go ahead and invite me to your QuickBooks right now so that I can give you a quote today? Or if they don't have QuickBooks, say, hey, what's your email address? Get their email address. While you're on the phone, send them an email. Say, hey, I just sent you an email. Let me know if you got it. Oh, you got it? Okay, great. Just reply to that email with your 3 most recent bank statements and credit card statements. As soon as you do that, I'll get you a quote same day. To quote somebody, I charge $3 per transaction. And keep in mind, I only do bookkeeping. So it's simple, $3 per transaction. And I look at your average transactions. So I'll look at your 3 most recent months, or maybe I'll look at your 6 most recent months, and I'll count up all the transactions, find out your average number of monthly transactions, and then multiply that by $3. And then once I get the quote, I email the client. Super simple. I don't send them like a 5-page PDF. I don't do anything crazy. I keep it simple. I just send them an email, say bookkeeping quote. Hey, based on the size and complexity of your business, your bookkeeping is going to be $450 per month. I briefly outline my services. I'll categorize your transactions, reconcile your accounts, and generate your financial reports. And then I also add in, with my services, you'll be completely ready to file your taxes. And I'll send you your financial reports in the first 10 business days of every month. And then I send them the bookkeeping quote. If I don't hear back from them, I'll follow up in 48 hours. It'll be a phone call. If you don't answer my phone call, I'll send you an email or a text message. And then if I don't hear back from you, I'll wait a week. And then I'll call you again, or I'll send you an email following up. If I don't hear back from you after the second follow-up, I'll just follow up every single month until you respond. This works, I promise you. I know it sounds crazy. Sometimes I've had people hire me 6 months after I sent them a quote. And then finally, if they do accept your quote, send them your client agreement. I have one on my website if you need it, client agreement. And then lastly, once they sign the client agreement, you got to do 4 things. Send them the current invoice. Typically, whenever you onboard a client, they need either onboarding or a couple months of a catch-up. So send them the current invoice, which is usually like 2 to 3 times the monthly fee. So for example, if I'm onboarding you in October, we just did a sales call. You might need help with September and October. So I'll send you, let's say it's a $500 monthly charge. The current invoice will be $1,000. $1,000 for September, $1,000 for October. And then in QuickBooks, I'll schedule a recurring invoice starting November 1st for $500. That goes out the first month, the first of every month. And then I'll add you to my workflow tracker. It's just an Excel spreadsheet. It's how I manage my current clients. And then finally, I'll schedule a recurring email. I use Right Inbox to send recurring emails to all of my clients. I'll schedule a recurring email on the first day of every month. Hey, please send me your most recent bank statements and credit card statements. That's it, guys. That's how I onboard clients. That's how I convince them they need me. That's what I say to potential clients, how I find them, how I identify who is my ideal client. Hopefully this video was helpful. I love talking about this, guys. If you haven't noticed already, I hope these videos provide value to you as you're trying to start and grow your own bookkeeping business. See you all later.